Hello. So I want to talk about anxiety and depression in the workplace. So, everyone suffers from, not everyone, but a majority of people suffer from anxiety and depression as a widespread. Just our nation, the world, even, it is a common or commonly found issue. And it is often that our anxiety becomes crippling or our depression becomes crippling. We can't get out of bed. We get overwhelmed. We have panic attacks. And so today I really want to talk about anxiety and depression in the workplace and some effective ways that I have helped myself recently and what has worked out for me. So, panic attacks. I have walked out of jobs because of panic attacks. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why my heart was beating so fast. I didn't know why I felt like I couldn't breathe. And it felt like every breath that I took in suffocated me even more. I didn't understand that panic attacks were tied to anxiety. This was really before I was diagnosed. I've dealt with this a lot, actually. My first panic attack was 2011. I was working at a frozen yogurt shop, Pinkberry, and I remember I was the brand ambassador and my job was catering, and like kind of establishing the brand amongst like the neighborhood and whatnot. And I remember one day I just had so many orders. I had a wedding order that day, and that was the big one. And then I had all these mini orders, and it was early in the morning, and I was just starting my day. I was just planning it out and trying to figure out where everything was, like how it was going. And the day before, I had already done a lot of prep for myself, so I kind of was ahead. But for some reason, I instantly, as I'm looking at everything I need to get done, I'm like, I can't get it done by myself. I started freaking out. I couldn't breathe. I ran outside and I went down a couple shops and just started crying. I broke down crying. My mom had to come and pick me up from work, and my boss had to carry out my job for the rest of the day because I could not stop crying. And that was the first time it happened. It happened a lot more after that. And so I never really dealt with it back then. Whenever I would get those panic attacks, I would just kind of just tell my boss, like, I need a moment or something, depending on the job I was working. And I always kind of stayed in the restaurant business. I did move to the pet industry for a while, and there was a little bit of calm in the pet industry because I was just selling like goods and things. And so there were lots of times where I would literally sneak off and go into a broom closet and have a panic attack and cry. And then I would come out of that broom closet 10 or 15 minutes later, and nobody would be the wiser. Depression. Oh God, depression. So with borderline, we suffer from anxiety and depression. And we suffer from these episodes of anxiety and depression, and we suffer from them in a different way because being borderline, all of these feelings and all of these emotions and all of these attacks are moment to moment. So a person can have a depressive attack in the morning, and then in the evening be very anxious, and then at night just have an anger outburst. So it's like these things can just happen so rapidly for us that we may, I don't know, jump over it too quickly and not heal from it. I know personally, I have done this before where my depression fueled my anxiety, which fueled my anger outbursts. So it's like everything is kind of tied into each other. So mental health is really important, and it's important that we deal with things and not sweep them under the rug because, oh, we think we're just being weak, or, oh, we think we're just, we just think that it's something small, because it can always be something bigger than you think. You just really have to voice it. You have to, really get involved with it. And you really have to do some deep introspection to actually figure out what's wrong. So something I've learned, especially when it comes to work, if you're having mental health issues, and I just recently found this out. So like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm like the king of handling things, but this job that I have now, this is the first time I've ever went to my boss and I said, hey, I need some extra support. I need some extra help. This is what I'm suffering from. and this is what I think I can do. This is what I want to do. Where can we meet? And we sat down and we made a complete plan on how we were going to make sure that I can get the job done, but also stay healthy and stay within my range. And even after that meeting, when I was like, hey, I need a little more extra support, my boss was there. And I'm not saying every boss is going to be like this, but you can go to your human resources department when you have mental health issues and you are diagnosed. Your company cannot fire you. They cannot let you go for those mental health issues. Of course, they can be nitpicky and try to let you go for something else. But if you go to human resources and say, hey, I need a little extra support because I'm just not doing the best and this isn't working, but I want to make it work and I want to do the best that I can. And I'm telling you, like, help is out there. It just takes the voice. Like, no one will know to help you unless you know to ask. That's what my ex-boyfriend always tells me all the time. And it's really hard to remember that when we're in crisis. But it is true. No one will ever know to help you if you don't ask. And when you ask, you open up this doorway to a whole other level of life that you didn't even know was possible. Because now I get to go to work. I get to be there, and while I don't get to work the same length as all of my other coworkers, I still get to go and do the job and contribute and have the fun conversations and feel like I'm bettering my life and doing good things. And so I definitely gained from talking to my boss about this, and I was very professional about it. I wrote him an email and I said, hey, I think it would be really, really helpful for me if we could sit down and just talk about everything. And when I went to the meeting, it was just so easy. It was such a breeze. But this is a time in the country, well, in America at least, I don't know about the rest of the world, because I don't live in the rest of the world, but I know in America, mental health awareness is up. People are understanding that mental health is a really important part of life. And if you're not mentally healthy, you really can't do much else. It's crippling not being mentally healthy. And I'm not saying I am in tip-top peak shape of being mentally healthy, but I am on my way. Like, I'm on my way. I see things in myself that I didn't see before. And once you start doing it too, and just accepting the inalienable truth that we are different, and asking for that extra support is okay because we are different. And we're not always going to need that extra support. There will come a day where I'll be able to work my entire 8-hour shift, no problem, be able to breeze through everything and just have a good time and be okay without having an anxiety attack, without going into a psychosis, without having a panic attack, without feeling super depressed and like have suicidal ideations while I am working, because that's not normal to have those things happen in an everyday shift, And so if you have any questions regarding on like better ways to do this, or if you think that you have a really good way to have a constructive conversation with your boss or with your human resources, go ahead and leave a comment below, or go ahead and like it if you like the video. But I'm going to let it go there. Mwah. Love you guys.